Ignite to impact.
What if I told you there was a simple 3-step process to quickly and easily shift your mindset from one of self doubt to self confidence in 45 minutes or less? Living life, growing your career, building a business, all of it is hard work. It's no secret that we all have to learn lots of different skills, lots of different lessons, and face a bunch of challenges. But if you truly want to become and feel wildly successful, you have to face something else. Every belief you have about who you are, what you're capable of, and what you're truly here to do. And you can do it, really. And I'm going to show you how. In today's conversation, I'm going to share 3 simple actions to help you change the beliefs that may be blocking your potential so you can move forward and pursue your purpose in life. I'm Dr. Geneva, vibrant life coach and business strategist, helping you transform your mindset into confidence and live vibrantly. So now, if you've ever felt like you don't matter in your field and nobody cares what you say because you're not an expert or don't feel like one yet, turn down new opportunities, even ones you want to say yes to, but because you don't deeply believe you're good enough? Or have you had an inkling that you're meant to do something more, or felt that you're just not done yet, but have a million excuses why it's not the right time or circumstances or whatever? Now, if you go through any of those, you're most likely dealing with some major or perhaps minor limiting beliefs. So here's the deal. When there's any sort of fear or stagnation in any area of your life, odds are you're coming head to head, facing it straight on with a big, fat, lying, limiting belief. Yes, you heard me say lying. It ain't true. So, under those limiting beliefs are those, kind of pesky ideas and things that we really, somehow create about who we are and what we're able to do. They're the thoughts, and you got them in your head. I know I've had them in mine, where you say, I can't do that. I can't make that much. I can't actually get paid to do what I love. Oh, I could never do that. That client would never hire me, on and on about the can'ts. Okay. And any and all of that are really why limiting beliefs are really a problem, because they're stopping you from living out your purpose in life. Because every time you say, I can't do something, and you really, really want to do it, but you're throwing up all of these barriers and excuses, hey, that stops you from stepping in to your purpose. So, if you're interested in stepping into your purpose in life, you have to deal with the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. So, I want to get started with 3 simple steps you can take. If you're interested, stay through this whole video, because you'll get this formula and you'll be able to implement it and start it right away. And I want you to remember, as we go through these steps, that although they're simple and I'll lay them out for you, you'll be able to follow them. Remember, shifting beliefs or doing anything in life that's worth it is some hard work. You got to put in the effort. You have to be intentional about it. Okay, so keep that in mind because, intention does make a difference. All right, so let's start with, you ready? Let's start with the first step. And this is the first step in shifting your limiting beliefs. Number one, I want you to identify 3 or 5 limiting beliefs that you think you have and write it down. Okay. So now this is an important first step. And I want you to make sure you have some paper or pen because, as you write things down or journal, it's a very powerful tool that you should have in your arsenal anyway, writing things down. And so, why is this first step so important? It's because becoming aware of your thoughts is the first step. It's what you have to do. You got to know what you're dealing with first. And asking yourself, well, what is it that is going on in my head? Where's the negative self talk? Now, this is the stage, of course, where you need to be honest with yourself. So, as we go through this first step of identifying, being honest and candid is very important. So, what are some of those negative self talk things that are going through your head? Like, those things you could never do or it's impossible that you say to yourself things like, I can't go swimming on vacation because I haven't lost those 30 pounds. Or I can't earn a 6-figure income because I don't have the talent or the experience. Or do you say, I can't hire people into my business because I don't make enough money yet? I can't go back to college because I'm too old. Or this one, I can't start a business because I'm too young. So, do any of those can'ts, can't do things resonate with you? I'd love for you to drop your can't do, I can't do something in the comments. Let me know what are some of the things that you tell yourself that you can't do, that negative self talk. I remember when I was a young mother and wife, I said to myself, well, and I knew I had to work out because I was feeling so stressed, overwhelmed, didn't know what I was doing, nothing. And I knew I had to exercise and work out to try to get rid of some of that stress. But I would say to myself, well, I can't work out because I've got to be here. I've got to be responsible. I got to be around. I got to take care of this. I got to do that. I got to figure out that. My kids, my husband, the whole thing. I mean, I had a list of excuses. And I'm sure you can find 1 or 2 things that you say, I can't do something, and really have a list of excuses for. And when you change your thinking about it, which we're going to get in the next few steps, but when you change your thinking about it, you can change your behavior. So this is why it's very important to first identify what are those limiting behaviors. So I want you to jot them down. Again, this is so important in this step so that you not only think about them, but you write them down. This is step number 1. I had a client the other day who said to me that she felt that she couldn't get ahead at her job because she wasn't that good speaking with people. Okay. And so we're going to take what she said and kind of use that as we go along as an example for what you can do. Is that okay to do that? All right. So again, let me know what you're thinking. Let's put your limiting beliefs that you might have or those things that you've identified in the comments. We can work with them too. But since I have my client's example, we're going to try that one as we go through. Okay. So here's the second step that I want you to do. So you've jotted down your 3 or 5 limiting beliefs that you have. The second thing is to answer this question: how have these beliefs that I just jotted down held me back in life? Okay. So now this is, you know, you really being honest about how this particular belief that you have has stopped you from doing or having something that you truly desire. And, if you're worried that you're not smart enough, then that's probably holding you back from doing something where you feel you have to show your smarts. Okay. So that's why it's very important to identify the consequences of having this limited belief and what it does for you and how it can, what it does for you and holding you back, and how that affects you from moving and getting your goals. And so, what these, as you're thinking about them, you'll find that oftentimes they're excuses that you have. So again, when I was young and mother, and as I was telling you, knew I had to work out, knew I should work out, but had all these reasons why I couldn't work out, I found that they were really, when I thought about them, just excuses, things that I was putting out there that were really just getting in the way from me not going and getting myself up and out and going ahead and working out. Like, well, I can only work out in the afternoon or the evening because my whole day is important, but I can't do that because I'm a morning person. And usually by the end of the day, so many things have happened, I just don't feel like it. Again, a string of excuses for why I could not work out. So, do you experience that? Do you have, what are some of the excuses that you find you're telling yourself? And then I want you to really think about this when you're answering the question of what's holding you back, because you're going to put down that belief that you have and then identify the why. So, I can't work out because, and the because that comes afterwards, those are the excuses. Those are the limiting beliefs. Okay? So, I can't work out because I don't have the time during the day. That's an excuse. Okay? I can't start a business because I'm too young. That's an excuse. I can't go back to college because I'm too old. That's an excuse. The because I'm too old is an excuse because what is it? Colleges have an age limit on who they accept. You can't start a business. Is there some rule or regulation or law that says that if you're in your 20s or your 30s, that you can't start a business? You hear what I'm saying? So, how we can discover our excuses is what happens after we say the word because. Okay? So, I can't do something because, okay, what follows is an excuse. And so it's very important for you to examine that and be very intentional about it. And this exercise, these steps, will bring it out. So, step one, you've identified those limiting beliefs. Step two, you've looked at that belief and answered the question: what's holding you back with that limiting belief? What is it that you're not able to do? And as you're examining that, you're looking at what comes after the because. Okay. So we're building our steps here. And in fact, this is something that you can do that doesn't take a lot of time now. Okay. So now let's go back to my client. And as I took her through this process, here was her response as she was talking about that she felt that she wasn't good speaking with people. And I asked her, I said, well, what is it you're doing or avoiding, or what's holding you back? And she said, I avoid giving my all at work because I'm afraid of getting a role where I'll have to speak to people. So that's holding her back. So let's look at that. That belief that she can't, that belief that she really isn't good at speaking with people is holding her back from how she can progress at work, because she's not volunteering, she's not speaking up in a meeting, she's not doing those things because she's afraid that she's going to have to speak to people. So she's blocking her dream. She's not stepping into her purpose. I see Kiara is telling us, and good morning to you. I see Kiara is saying that her number one excuse has always been, I don't have the time. And she uses that in many areas of her life. Okay, so let's look at that. Um, you know, I'm not posting I'm posting on social media because I don't have the time. I'm not exercising because I don't have the time. Okay? I'm not going after that client because I don't have the time. Okay. So that because I don't have the time, again, because that's just what Kiara told us, I don't have the time. You see how you can discover your excuses and what that thing is that's holding you back. So if you focus on, because I don't have the time, well, why don't you have the time? How much time is it that you would need? How can you find the time? What amount of time do you need to have? On and on, asking those questions. When I was struggling and dealing with my excuses about not working out, and again, one of those excuses was because I didn't have enough time. When I stopped and thought about it, I said, and all of the exercise and workout and health experts tell you get in 30 minutes, or Tisha and I were just talking about her 12,000 steps. Okay, so if you chunk it down, what are we talking about? 30 minutes? You mean you can't find 30 minutes in your day to make yourself feel better, to get healthier, to reduce stress? I bet you'd give 30 minutes of your time to your kid or to your partner or to your best friend, or perhaps even a colleague at work who needs to pick your brains for 30 minutes. Mhm. Okay. So the point is to dissect. And then in this second step, we're really dissecting. Well, what's holding us back? What is it, that excuse that's happening? Let's dissect that, analyze it, and then really kind of think about, well, what does that really mean? Okay. So that's step two. And it's a very important step to analyze. And then the third step that we're doing in these three simple steps is to replace your old self limiting belief with a new one. Okay. Now, some folk call this positive affirmations, where you take that old belief, like, I can't work out during the day because I don't have enough time. And instead of saying that, say, I can work out because I'm taking care of my health and putting me first. Okay. So Oftentimes we think about that as a positive affirmation. That's good. I tend to think about it as reframing. So this can't do something. I reframe it, shift it into I can, but I also put into that I can my motivation and my why. So I can work out because my health is important and I need to cut out the stress. Okay. Whatever it is that gets you going, whatever it is that can reframe, can shift, can think about it from a different perspective. Okay. So, so in this third step, we're replacing that old self-limiting belief with a new, fresh, limitless statement belief. Okay. And so, in other words, we're doing the opposite. Okay. So, if you're saying, well, Dr. Geneva, what do you talk? How do I do? Think about, well, I want to do the opposite. I want to say the opposite. I want to believe the opposite. Okay. So that's one of the things. And so let me give you some examples. So if you're saying, no one will ever pay me more money in my business, reframe it, shift it, the opposite to my earning potential is unlimited. You see? And see, but the beauty, the simplicity in all of this is that beliefs, our thoughts are changeable. We, in fact, can shape them how we want. And so, this ability to shift and change our beliefs and think about what we can do, the how we can have this growth, I can do mindset is so very possible because it's a story we tell ourselves. And as I always say, if this is about a story you're telling yourself, why not tell yourself a good story? Why not it be a good book? Why not you write something fabulous about yourself? Okay. So um and then let's go back to my client who as she began to replace her I'm afraid or I can't get ahead of my job because I'm not good at speaking with people. And she realized how that was holding her back and stopping her from volunteering for assignments or what have you. Her new belief that she came up with was I can talk to anyone. I just have to put myself out there. So again, with that phraseology, with that thinking, how she reframed it, and she found out that, well, she started feeling a little bit more confident. Well, I can talk to anyone. There's just some things I need to do. And if you don't know what to do, um, that's when you can go on the internet and search for ways to do things, to find information. You can get yourself a coach. That's what I work with people a lot to help them help you kind of think through. You come to it yourself, but you kind of think through it. How you doing, Elaine? And Elaine says fresh and limitless beliefs. And yes, oh, she's going to practice it today. Thank you. Thank you. Let me know, Elaine, how it works out for you. And yes, when you change your thoughts, you can change your outcomes. And that's the whole purpose of these three simple steps, because you're working on your mindset, you're working to change your thoughts, because there's better things you want to accomplish. You want to get into your purpose. You want to step into your purpose. You see what I'm saying? So it's worth the effort. These steps are worth the effort. I want to give you another example of what you can do. Again, I'll go back to mine. I remember having this belief that I couldn't run my own business because I had never done it before. This was a lifelong dream of mine to have my own platform, my own business where I can do my own thing. And but I kept putting it off, frankly, because I felt I didn't know enough. I didn't have enough knowledge and experience and expertise. And one day I tried these 3 simple steps because I had used these steps in other parts of my life to, kind of push aside some of those limiting beliefs that I had and, gain the confidence to do things. So I applied these 3 simple steps. And when I got to the second step where you analyze, oh, thank you, Jeanette. So good to see you. Jeanette says, great advice. Thank you. Good to see you, Jeanette. When I got to the where you analyze part, I stopped and I said, wait a minute. I've been in the nonprofit world running organizations, multi-million-dollar organizations for years. That's been my whole career. And nonprofits are really small businesses. Got employees, got money, got legal issues, got HR, have clients and customers and people you deal with. They're small businesses. I've had that experience. And when I thought about it and started being intentional about my thinking and what I had, I realized I had transferable skills and knowledge. And so that what had been holding me back wasn't true. And that's what I mean about how so often these limiting beliefs that we put on ourselves ain't true. They's a lie once you start thinking about it. So that number 2 step right there in the middle, that's my sweetheart step, where you analyze, where you really think about it, where you say, well, what is this that's holding me back? What are the excuses? Let me really go deep into me and figure it out. Okay, so those are the 3 steps that I want you to know. I want you to remember that beliefs that we have. Now, beliefs are important. If we just deal with beliefs are the things you believe in. Beliefs are the things that you think are important. And so there ain't nothing wrong with beliefs because they're your values. But those that are limiting, those that tell you that you can't do something or you won't be able to do something, those are the ones we want to deal with because they block our potential and purpose. So remember that not all beliefs are bad. That's one. But also whatever you have, you can shift and you can change them and you can move beyond them. And so, use your beliefs to open doors. So let them work for you, not against you. Okay. And so I want you to imagine as you use this 3 simple step process of identifying your beliefs, then analyze and assessing what's holding you back, what aren't you getting because of these limiting beliefs, and then third, replacing the old with a new, refreshing belief in yourself. As you're going through this, I want you to imagine that you can use these 3 simple steps to release negativity that you might have without guilt or shame or anxiety. And you can feel more confident asking for what it is you want and what you truly desire, you can go after. And you can, when you let loose of these limiting beliefs, you can really just love yourself more deeply and feel safe and excited about showing up and being seen. So I wanted to leave you with that. Now, if you want to dive even deeper in how you do this work and be even more intentional, please grab the Unleashing the Fabulous You, because it dives deep into all kinds of strategies and further action steps that you can take if you really want to dive deep into this issue uh, about blocking these things that block you from your potential, and you want to change your limiting beliefs. And also, here's what I'd like you to do. If you hear someone, your friend, your neighbor, a colleague at work, an employee, say, I can't do something, or you hear them expressing hesitancy or doubt, and you can hear that that's blocking them, I want you to share this video with them, okay? Because with these 3 simple steps, they can see a difference. Okay? Mwah. Love you all. See you the next time.
Ignite to impact.